Coach Q, whenever you're ready.
Yeah, we got a lot of media. It's like the Final Four, man. It's like I don't know. I might have to block off dinner for y'all, right? um, y'all can smile. It's all right. Um, Everything's good. Um, the, the main reason why I'm doing this today is because you guys are gonna lose your mind if I don't. so so I'm here to do media today because I'm really just like I'm tired of doing media like in the gas stations and Starbucks and Prime Steakhouse. Yeah, I got my kids doing media at school. My 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 5-year-old asked me, was I in the transfer portal, because he didn't understand what it was. So so obviously this is we got a lot going on, and quite honestly, we're here for a lot of different reasons, and the main thing is for us is we're in a good place, all right, and we're not in a panic mode. And I think that's what's happening right now is this portal across the country is becoming this thing where if you have nobody in the portal, when your program's fantastic. If you got people in the portal, you're in trouble. We're not in that state. You know, we're the one thing about us is back in 2016 when we got to the championship game, we understood what we needed to do and the kind of players that we needed to get there. And we just want to get to a place to where it's our standards, you know, and for us it's about being athletic. It's about wanting to come in every day and work, and, and more importantly, just wanting to be here. And that's what all we've been talking about from day one. Is just having players here on the want to be here, and the transfer portal has allowed um, people to make some decisions to move on. And there are a wide variety of reasons on why people have chosen to move on in the different situations. And I was always from the beginning most concerned about people writing stories or saying things that were just, quite frankly, I can't get any information, so I'm going to write this because this has to be the reason. And that's the one thing that I would always, guide people to really be careful of, is just, not just jumping to conclusions. And because I'm not jumping out here on every day when somebody gets into the portal, jumping out here and making a statement, because y'all know that ain't even me anyway. So for anyone to jump to that point to where he's not saying anything, I never do, and I never do for a specific reason, because this world is about choices. And at the end of the day, we have very good players. We're gonna have very good players on our roster. Um, we've never not been unsuccessful here. Now we've underperformed in some years, but we've never not been unsuccessful, and we're going to continue to be that way. And I'm really here today for a couple of reasons, to give you guys the opportunity to ask some questions, and so we can have a dialogue. But what I'm not here to do is to go down this whole roster of people who's in the portal, and to have specific dialogue about specific players. So we're not gonna go down the players that's in the portal and say, what about this kid, what about that kid. I'm here to talk about our program. I'm here to talk about where we are at this point and moving forward. But it's not going to be an open dialogue about players and why they left, because obviously at this point you guys have contacted them all anyway. So you have their reasons. You guys probably know more than I know at this point. And at the end of the day, those kids are like my daughters, and they're always gonna be that way, and they're always gonna be family to me. So I'm not gonna put myself with them in any kind of situation to where we're spreading and shedding a negative light on this. The NCAA got the transfer portal for reasons. Is to is to give players with some choices to make some decisions to play where they want to play. And a lot of stuff that's been said out there has been very positive about them, which is good, and it should be. So I just hope that when I choose to move on or I retire, that you guys say those nice, pleasant things about me as well.
Thank you, Coach Pugh. We will begin with questions with John Johnson.
Coach, I guess I want to go into this how is the transfer portal in general just changed the way, I guess, you recruit and build your roster? Because I know you don't want to get into individual players, but I asked Coach Babers about this a couple of weeks ago. Has it changed the way you push out your roster? Because not only got to recruit players to stay, but you got to recruit college. Has it changed everything?
Yeah, yeah, it definitely has. You know what I think the portal has done is two things: is giving the student athlete opportunities to pursue other options if they don't feel that they're getting what they need at a certain program, and I'm okay with that. But also too, it's allowed coaches who are losing players to the portal and going to other universities a chance to also sign some kids that can come in and help you win and help you play your way. So for me, it's okay, if you want to make a decision to move on, but it also it's okay for us as coaches to be able to go into the portal and get some players that can help you win and continue your standards.
Thank you, John. Next question, we're going to go to Mario Sacco.
Hi, Coach. Kind of a twofold here. If you see things on kind of our end as the media, you see, one or two players entering the transfer portal, you think, okay, one or two players are leaving off your team. You saw Coach Boeheim, 4 players leaving off his. You had 11 players transfer. How did we get to this point? And as you talked about, these are girls that you recruited from 2016 that you wanted to build your program. You knew what you had to do to win a championship. Now 11 of them leave. Is that shocking to you at all, or how did we get here?
Well, I think this half is shocking, half is not. I think that some of it is just pure attrition, right? Things happen. You have standards. You have the way that you want to play, and then as you start to have those conversations and you have those team meetings and saying, this is what it's going to be. This is what we need to transition to get back to that 2016 year, because see, we've been there and we've done it, so we know what it looks like. So there's no certain things that we have to do, to change, to make it that way. I think the other part is just we had some seniors. We had some seniors that had the opportunity to go on and pursue some other options, and you can see they're going to some really good schools. They're going to schools in our conference. That's a compliment to us. That means everybody wants our players, so it means that we're doing something right. We're recruiting at a high level. We're recruiting top 10 talent, top 10 classes, and they're having opportunities to go on and play at some really good places.
Thanks, Mario. Next question, we're going to go to Stephen Bailey.
Thank you. 4 of the players transferring out are staying in the ACC. I know this is kind of relatively new, the transfer landscape, that may be common in a few years, but, what do you think of that? And any, I don't know if hard feelings is the right word, but they're going to be playing against you. What do you kind of, I guess, think of them going to a school that's going to be playing against you?
I have no issues with that. Those are the rules. They can choose to go on where they want to go, and we got to understand too. A lot of times in this portal, the schools that these players are choosing to go to. Well, I can't say that for everyone, but I think a lot of it is just schools that have recruited you from the beginning, so they're familiar with some of these schools as well. Just like some of the players that we're bringing in, we are probably 90% of them, we're very familiar with them from the previous recruiting process. So I think it's about that. But yeah, for me, it's good. I don't, like I said, I view it as a compliment. When you have your players going to BCS level schools and they're going to schools in your conference, that means that they must have did something against those schools that really wanted them, made them really want them on their team.
Thanks, Stephen. Next question, we're gonna go to Mark Larson.
Thank you. So you started out by saying we're fine, we're in a good place, and from the outside, it seems a little bit, it feels a little bit like somebody saying nothing to see here, nothing to see here, and behind them, like the house is going up in flames. Are you really fine?
Look at me, man. Don't I look good? I'm clean shaved, right? I'm good. Why? If I had a problem, I would tell you we got a problem. We sit here all the time, and then what ends up happening is that everyone ends up getting their cameras, getting their pens and their papers, and going to the NCAA tournament with us. Happens every year, 8 straight years, man. We're fine, and I know you guys are looking at the roster. You guys are looking at who we're bringing in, so I think you guys know that we're okay.
Quick
Thanks,
follow up.
Mark.
Can I do a quick follow up or no?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Sometimes there's addition by subtraction, and without naming any names, any of the players that left, were they maybe encouraged to do so, or was this all like their own doing? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, we have in the end of the year meetings, okay, and for me, if I bring you, I'm this kind of coach, okay. If I bring you to Syracuse University, I want you to finish at Syracuse University. I was prepared to have 21 players on my roster next year. It's going to be what it was going to be. So for me, I would love to have a great big roster with a lot of competition that the best players play. So for me, everyone has a choice, and we all had end of the year meetings, and that was their choice, and I supported them because that's who I am. If you notice, I've said nothing about anyone through this whole process. I'm okay with it.
Thanks, Mark.
Thank you.
Next question, we're gonna go to
No
Brent
problem, buddy.
Axe.
Coach, you brought up a moment ago, excuse me, the standards that you have for the program. I was wondering if you could go over what those standards are, and if you don't want to name anybody specifically, I would understand, but what those standards were not being met that led to players being leaving.
Nah, I'm not gonna list my standards, man, because that's something that's pretty much intimate to our program. But at the end of the day, what I will say is my standard is winning. My standard is winning championships, and my standard is being able to play the way that we need to play, to be athletic, to be able to press, to be able to run, and be able to play the way that you guys have seen us be successful. I really believe that we had a roster that really could have developed into that, and we had time to do it. It would have been that way. But at the end of the day, I think we all have to understand this, okay? There's been a system put in place to where people don't have to stay and wait. They can move on and try other things. So I had to live with that. And I think that I don't want you guys to jump ahead and say, hey, these were standards that certain players weren't meeting or what have you, but they're standards that we say that we want to live by, that we want to have our team meet. And if some people feel that they can't do it, they may choose to move on. Some people feel they don't want to do it, they may choose to move on. But we recruit players that we know that can come in and can meet our standards.
To follow up on that, you mentioned that there's new opportunities. We're in a transfer portal era here, but at the heart of it, why do you feel like so many players left the program?
I just feel that, different reasons. We had players that wanted to go and pursue graduate degrees at different places when they had what they wanted to get a graduate degree in. We had some players that obviously went on to places that they had opportunities to play in different regions of the world. You have to understand this. Most conversations don't go where they sit down with you with a laundry list of things on why they're leaving. They come in, we talk, we move on. Some don't talk. Some just say, hey, I want to move on to a different situation, different school. And that's why, for me, there really aren't complicated discussions in adversarial conversations. So that's just what is always, I won't say always, which is sometimes assumed that there's a distinct problem.
Thank you. Next question, we're gonna go to Mike Curtis.
Thank you. How did COVID play into or factor into some of the players' decisions to opt out, given everything you went through last year?
Yeah, well, it's hard to say, but what I can say is for our freshmen, they didn't get an opportunity to experience a freshman year, a traditional freshman year. And I can understand if you're a freshman and you go to a situation and your coach is telling you, wear a mask, don't go anywhere, wash your hands, you can't be around people, stay in your bubble, you can't go to class, all your classes are online. That's not fun. It wasn't fun for me every day trying to enforce that. But we had to get to a place where we can compete in this year. And then obviously for players that has been here that are juniors and seniors, for them to have to deal with that had to be a difficult situation. It was hard for me. It was hard for me seeing them not being able to have a traditional year and have fun to hang out with their friends. We didn't do team dinners, we didn't do team outings, we didn't go bowling this year, we didn't go play laser tag, they didn't come to my house to watch TV, to have cookouts. We didn't do anything as a team together. Even on the road, a lot of our meals couldn't even be together. So it was a really tough year. How much that had to do with it, I don't know, but it definitely made the year less than enjoyable for all of us from that standpoint. But to have an opportunity, man, to play this year was great. We did the best we could with what we had, with our limitations.
Thanks, Mike. Next question, we're gonna go to Roshan Fernandez.
Hi, Coach. Earlier, you kind of mentioned that, obviously you want players who want to be here. And that's a huge part of building a program. I guess, are there any overarching themes or any reasons like that, that those 11 players did enter the portal?
No, not that I know of, to be honest. Like I said, I think a lot of it is that, and I'm trying to be general, that when I say you guys, I mean just general, I think that these are like 2-hour conversations. They really aren't. They're really like 10-second conversations where someone say, hey, I want to pursue another option, and you hug them and you tell them, hey, I love you, thank you, and anything I can do to help you, I will. So I think that a lot of stuff is assumed that you're sitting there, you have these big, long, like I got 20, 30 things on my list and the player has 40 things on their list, so we kind of go back and forth. It doesn't really go down like that, to be honest. So I really can't answer that.
Yeah, so I guess just to clarify then, are there some players in the portal who you don't really know why they left? They just told you like, hey, coach, I'm going to pursue something else?
And again, it's hard, and I see that was good. But at the end of the day, it's what I said at the beginning. Yeah.
Next question is gonna go to Tim Nolan.
Coach, focusing on the 4 players that you have brought in, 2 in particular, Shalexis Aaron shoots over 40% from 3. You also get the MEAC's all-time leader in 3-pointers. How big of a part was perimeter shooting to the girls you're bringing into this program now?
Well, obviously, that's a lot of ways that we want to play, because we know that perimeter shooting and really effective guard play is what really got us to that 2016 point. And I always keep mentioning that, and you guys are going to get tired of that until I leave here, because we went there and we got within 40 minutes of winning the national championship. And it was from tremendous guard play with P and Britt and Brianna Butler, and Cornelia Fondren ended up was a point guard that played the 4th position for us for long stretches of the time during that season. And it's all about, can you get perimeter shooting that can create spacing and can create opportunities on the play? Can you get 3 instead of 2? And that's definitely going to allow us to do that. And we always wanted to have a roster that can do that. And we always had capable shooters. So we wanted to bring in capable shooters. as well. Even with our freshmen, they're all pretty capable shooters.
And Liv, if you don't mind, if I can get a quick follow-up to that. Q, was that something that you discussed with your team this year that, hey, we're not meeting that perimeter standard that we had back in 2016?
Well, we talk about shooting all the time. You know, we're big on points per possession. We're big on, you know, making threes and things of that nature. So yeah, we've been big on that from day one, even before 2016. You know, we talked about that, and you know, Coach Reed now talk about analytics a lot. He's really opened my eyes up to those things and, you know, how to win. And quite honestly, getting to that 2016 game was a lot of what Vaughn talked about, just the analytics of being able to get more possessions and points per possession and making threes. And that's why we were there. So we're trying to make sure that we can continue to climb back to that points per possessions and creating margins.
Thank you. We have time for a couple more questions for Coach Q. We're going to go back to Stephen Bailey.
I wanted to kind of ask, broadly speaking, the way you run your program, the way you kind of treat your players, does anything change after this offseason and just with the new landscape where players can transfer? Like, are you going to do anything differently having gone through this experience?
No. We're gonna continue to fight to maximize everything that we can out of our players, and we're gonna continue in the fight for every player on our team to meet our standards so we can win and they can have productive careers here.
Thanks, Stephen. We're going to go to Josh St. Croix.
Hi, Coach. I kind of wanted to ask a little more about that group that you're bringing in. I don't know how specific you can get on that end of it, but just overall, just wondering, you know, what else stands out about that group, and just what do you think they can collectively kind of bring to the team next year?
Yeah, sure. I'll be broad. Athleticism, speed and quickness, which is really big for us in our pressure. We got some perimeter shooting that the players can really create space and spread the floor, and more importantly, just being able to get a level of athlete we can reach our maximum level of conditioning, because that does big. Can you make shots when you're tired? Can you get up and down the floor when you're tired? And can you get in every possession? So for us, that's going to be important forward.
All right. Last question we have for Coach Q today is from Mario Sacco. Actually, we'll go Mario, then Brent Axe.
Coach, last time we spoke, you know, I asked you about how Priscilla Williams' health was. How is she now? Now that we're, you know, a month away from everything that happened, and how to those two cornerstones of having Priscilla back and having Camilla kind of, you know, you talked about, we'll be fine. Well, there's two key pieces right there. How excited you are to have those two, you know, still around? Well,
Priscilla's healthy. You know, she's doing well. You know, she's back and she's at full tilt. And I can tell you, being able to shoot the ball and space the floor will always make things better for you in the paint. You know, scoring in the paint. And when you start getting players around the horn that can make shots, that can create spacing, it's going to create one-on-one opportunities, you know, in the paint on the score. So we're excited about being able to complement, you know, inside play with some perimeter shooting. So, but yeah, thanks for asking about Priscilla, man. She's doing awesome. Yeah, she's doing great.
All right, we'll go to Brent Axe for our final question.
Coach, you mentioned 2016 a couple times there. I was wondering what you learned from facing teams like Louisville, who was highly ranked, of course, Connecticut in the tournament in 2021, and what that has taught you about where your program's at and trying to reach the level they're at.
Yeah, it's about athleticism. You know, it's about getting athletic to make sure, because in those doing that, going back to those years, we were just created such a margin without pressure, and with creating more opportunities in the score of basketball. You know, we were shooting, you know, in the high 20 percentiles to the low 30% and beating teams by 20 points because we were getting more opportunities in the score of basketball. And I really believe that you know, that's what it's going to do. It's going to allow us to get back to creating our margins and be able to play the way that we want to play. And we're excited to move forward on that.
All right, everybody, that concludes Coach Q's media availability for you today.
Yeah, and again, y'all, thank you guys for being here, and we look forward to next year, man. We're preparing every day, and we just, I can tell you this right now, the excitement to move forward to have a traditional year is unbelievable. I'm looking forward to a summer, a preseason schedule, and conference play, and just things to be normal. And everyone, wear your mask, man. Go get vaccinated.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great day.
Thank you.
See you guys.